I went through the whole weekend and I thought that I would have to do my opening on the way home in Virginia, and then I was gonna, you know what it was, what it boiled down to? I thought yesterday was Sunday. The whole day.
I've been screwed up all
The whole day. Logan got a huge kick out of the fact that I thought that yesterday was Sunday.
And I did. I'm not embarrassed to say it.
Just the way the week played out, I thought that yesterday was Sunday, so I was scrambling to figure out how I was going to do my videos, and lo and behold, I can just do them with my wife. So, lots to talk about this week. I will start by addressing the Breeders' Crown. We were 5th with Jailbird Jog, and the other filly raced poorly. Initially, when we took the blood of Perfect Thought, it didn't show anything. Showed nothing, actually. And then the scope was clean on the filly, so a little disappointing. I guess her GGT was a little high. It was just a couple of ticks above high normal, and quite a bit higher than Megan said it usually was. But today was the first day she left the little feed. Day after the race, she ate, everything seemed good. Today, a little picky. And it may be nothing. It may be innocuous. It may not mean anything. But it may be the start of something that was coming. And a lot of little tiny things led to, one, a poor performance, and then obviously factoring in that potentially she could be getting a little bit sick now. So what does that mean for her? I would say if there's a sickness, any sort of sickness like say Cherry's girl had, then that would likely be it. Otherwise, we do have the 3 diamonds for her. And, nobody said it, but I just wanted to make it clear that her race the other night had nothing to do with her being tired. Right? It was her 9th start of the year. It just ended up being a bad trip. Was it the track, the weather? It could have been a lot of things. And I'll tell you one thing. Trying to chase down a filly like Burke's will sicken a lot of horses too. Right? Metaphorically speaking. And I think that probably played a role also. So, with respect to Jailbird Jog, we're going to treat it as if she's racing Friday night until she's not racing Friday night. And at that point, she will be done for the season. This cord, we need to get a better cord in this car. Now, what else took place this week? I know I'll jump around a little bit. No, squirrel, you almost never jumped around again. When it came to Cherry's girl winning in Virginia yesterday, it's funny, Randy of all people, it must have bothered him. Obviously, the filly did not race that well. Finishing 5th, didn't get in the final. Pretty disappointing evening for us with respect to her, but he messaged me after. He goes, "Oh well, it's a good way to turn the page." I said, "Well, it's not really the Breeders' Crown elimination, but it was an elimination, and Cherry's girl looked very, very good winning in Virginia. She'll be back to the final next week, and if she shows up the same way she showed up yesterday, she'll give them all they want if she draws reasonably for the final." I guess I will go back to Jailbird Jog a little bit. Just a few little things that went into her. Obviously, a colder night, different surface, and then she makes it kind of harder on herself, right? And I talked to Steve about this yesterday. We were speaking. Just wasn't that many races this year where she ended up with a good trip, and we had some of the best drivers in the world driving her, right? Between Timmy and James, it just didn't end up the way that we wanted with her. But the speed is undeniable. 2-year-old mark of 52. She can hang with any horse in that division right now, and I hope she translates that well into her sophomore season. Grow up a little bit, fill out a little bit, come back with a little better outlook and focus on horse racing, and I think that she'll be, it's not that she had a bad year. I think I looked on her card, now it was Canadian dollars, but pretty sure it was like $174,000 she made, for a $52,000 purchase. She's still a very, very good filly, worth a lot of money as a broodmare, and has her entire sophomore season ahead of her. Now, this is all silver lining stuff and, great fortune cookie talk. At the end of the day, it still stings a little bit not making the final of the Breeders' Crown. But, it happens. And this goes into the broader conversation that you and I were having this morning about the horses. How'd you like to be, James with Chantilly? Didn't make the final last night, right? Finished 6th, I believe. There's 2 divisions, right?
I don't know.
Maybe there wasn't, but I have no idea.
It would have to be, or they wouldn't have had no race.
Oh, that's a good point. Well, there could have been a bye for a couple of horses, like Perfect Thought potentially, but yes, you're right. So, there's a filly that was dominant her entire life. Dominant. Now, she didn't beat Mickey and Minnie, and then the first time when they hooked up, she beat her at the wire, right? She was defeated by her, but easily, probably widely regarded as the second best filly by inches in that division. and last night may not have made the final of the Breeders' Crown. And it's the same thing I said to you, whether it be the World Series or the Super Bowl or the NHL playoffs, the Stanley Cup. You can have a great team full of great players and not get to go anywhere. Just a bounce of a puck here, a drop pass here or there. It's very, very difficult. And when you're at this level, it only makes it more difficult because we hoped, but you had touched on something. When we went to the Breeders' Crown before, in past years, we were present, right? Maury was present. It was great. He was present. Even Lawmaker and those horses, they were present. But they weren't expected to be true competitors in that division. And both those fillies yesterday absolutely were. One, they were both bet down. And two, they've deserved that right all year because they've raced great all year long. And I know it's disappointing, but to be able to have horses to race that level, you have to truly recognize how special that is and how lucky you are. So we'll continue to put the hard work in, and hopefully every year over year, we'll get better horses and end up in a position to race in the Breeders' Crown and hopefully win Breeders' Crowns moving forward. But it all starts in that in the same way that we did, right? We didn't get to start with $1 million horses and a barn full of horses that are supposed to be in the Breeders' Crown.
No, I just find I find myself always thinking, like, had she got, placed in that $400,000 final, would she had enough money to be the fifth? To be the fifth horse.
I never thought that.
To be picked.
But again,
like
you make a great point, but at the same time, you have to understand this industry is like, well, it's no different. And I made this reference going to Virginia, and some people may not get it, and some people don't care. How do you think John Schneider woke up the other day? Everybody in the world attacking him because he brought in Brendan Little. And well, you can say that. But as I said in a video jokingly, what happens if John Schneider called me and said, hey, Anthony, just want you to know, we're about to make a pitching change. This is why I believe Brendan Little should come in. And I'm sure he would make a very compelling argument why he should. But he didn't get a chance to, nor does he owe that right to anybody. And when it comes to the horses, you have to turn the page. Do I like that she was 3 wide in the final? No. Do I like that she had to trot a middle half in 55? Some of that, if I'm going to be completely honest, falls on her shoulders too.
I know. She's not easy to drive.
But she is an incredibly gifted, talented animal, and that is the big takeaway. Is that we got a taste of having good horses, and we want better, we want more, and so do our clients. And that's not easy to do when you're racing against the Melanders, and especially Burke this year. It's not it. Well, his horse got beat last night, right? You think he didn't take that hard? For a guy who's won everything this year, they expect to win everything. And when Lou Print gets beat at the wire in the Breeders' Crown elimination, and I doubt he'll get beat in the final, but he got beat. It just goes to show you that anything can happen. And it does upset me. But at the end of the day, we have to focus on what we're doing, how we got here, and how we grow from here. And that is the one. You can't get bogged down with the why did that happen? Oh, what if this had happened? Oh, imagine if this had happened. It's just,
I know, but it's like, this is like literally the third time that we had to be third and we were fourth. Or we only get to advance if we have the most money and we don't.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's racing.
That's annoying.
Well, it's annoying, but it's racing. It's the way it is. It's the same thing I told you with what we do at the stable. There are certain ways. As a driver, I want to be the guy doing it. And you and I have talked about this, and it bothers you that sometimes I'm not. But I want to make sure that if somebody like James McDonald or Tim Tetrick is available, that we give our clients the best opportunity. If Anthony McDonald driving that horse at any point during the year would have been more beneficial than somebody else, then I would have. And I can look back on it and say, well, I wouldn't have done that. She wouldn't have done that if I was driving her.
Everyone can do that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the most important thing, is that we focus on what we have, right? Today is Sunday. Again, apparently, because I thought it was yesterday. Today is Sunday.
It's because we went to Ontario on Thursday night.
Yeah, 100%. And because the Breeders' Crown eliminations were Friday, not Saturday. I don't know why it is. But it could be that I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, too. What?
You were up for 2 days.
Yes, I was, yeah. And I didn't sleep very well on Friday night, as you can imagine. So, just understanding where we're at and focusing on the here and now. Everybody out there knows very well. You can pick the phone up and call Ron Burke and see if he'll let you be an owner of his if you want. If you're just that desperate to win everything at all costs, that's the guy that wins it all. We're a little bit different. And I told Logan this. You know what the stable is? Quite frankly, it's a community of people that races horses. That's what it is. And the community of people that we built is the stable. The horses racing is an action of that stable. And that is very, very important. It means a lot to me. And you needn't look any further than what took place yesterday. I flew all the way to Dulles International Airport, an hour and 10 minutes from Shenandoah Raceway, and a complete stranger who I've talked to plenty of times via text or email took the time out of his day to drive to the airport, pick me up, and take me all the way to Dulles. Sat there in a lawn chair, watched the races, listened to the live music that was playing on a hay wagon, nonetheless, at Shenandoah Downs, but happy to do it. So again, thanks to Russell for doing that. He certainly didn't have to, and it was a lot of fun. And he was a good sport too. And shockingly enough, a Yankees fan, but he was a good sport too, doing the video with me all the way to Shenandoah. It was a lot of fun, and I love doing that stuff. But that's what the stable's about, right? There's people out there that say, yeah, I know, but we're here to race horses. I get it, but I at some point there has to be more.
I think everyone has that goal.
We all have the goal. Winning in Virginia yesterday certainly didn't put a Band-Aid on the open wound of what took place the night before, but it helped. It helped, and it helped me realize that we still have horses to race. We still have stuff to do. We bought a horse online. We have horses we're bidding on this week. We have horses we're looking to buy in Harrisburg. And now, I guess, as I transition away from, the talk of what could have been and how it might be, I'm going to look at what it is. Right? What do we need heading into Harrisburg? I have a clear definition now of what we want. Probably, I'm thinking, especially since we have a horse in full to him, a back of the neck trotter for New York, because we don't have a lot of New York breds, right? What are you laughing at?
Sorry, I just saw something.
What did you just
See what the skeleton is holding?
No, what is it?
A 6 and a 7.
Why do the kids do
So
that?
annoying. I don't know.
You started telling me. I said, actually, I don't care. So, a back of the neck for New York. I think if you want a Pennsylvania pacing filly, we still don't have an Ontario trotting colt, and we only have 2 Pennsylvania trotting colts for a barn that usually has a lot. So those are we have 2 Pennsylvania trotting colts. Oh no,
2 green shoes.
2 Pennsylvania trotting fillies. Then is that what we have? We have 2 of something. I have it on my phone. Yes, we have 5 trotting colts and 2 trotting fillies. Is that right? I thought it was the other way around. I have it on my phone anyway. So we have 2 Pennsylvania trotters, I believe fillies. Now that Amy jumped all over me there.
You were wrong.
A New Jersey pacer, if you want one, probably be a perfect thought, I would think, after the season we had. A perfect sting after the year we had with the filly. So we have a number of small little gaps, nothing that's imperative, but stuff we're going to talk about over this week because the buckets, or what we're doing in Harrisburg, is going to come out. I think right now we have, 40 babies. We don't need 15 more. There's going to be farms that contact us about sending us private horses. I'm sure of that. There is every year. So we're probably looking at 5 or 6 in Harrisburg, and what they look like will depend on what you want to do. We've talked about this time and time again, but as I called it, this will be, and is for most part every year, a shopping bag sale. What do we need to fill the gaps in our barn, so to speak? And for our New York clients out there, speak up. I'm telling you right now, when we put the buckets out there, you better speak up. I would think a New York trotter, and I'm going to guess a back of the neck. I saw 2 that I loved on my way home from Shenandoah yesterday. I just looked briefly at some videos. 2 back of the necks that I loved on video and on pedigree. There was a perfect sting. 2, 3 that I liked. I'll be frank with everybody. My favorite horse this far, as far as a pacing prospect, is a Stay Hungry. And he looked amazing in his video. A couple of Captain Treacherouses and a couple of Bulldog Hanovers. For everybody out there, there are a couple I liked. But that is kind of where we're at with respect to Harrisburg. So when we put the bucket or buckets out, I guess we're not going to be able to put that New York horse in the bucket. That's going to have to be a standalone purchase for our New York clients. And we have a lot more of them now that are licensed in New York. For Lonnie and his friends, obviously, you want to make sure that they have an opportunity to get in on that. We are looking at a New Jersey pacing horse, filly or colt, and a New York bred. And I don't even know if we lump them together. The pacing horse may be in the normal, or I just make 3 buckets. A New York bred, a New York bred, a New Jersey bred, and the other side of what we're looking at, which is like 3 or 4 horses, I think. So we'll work all that out over this week, and I'll have those buckets up and out to you Wednesday, I think. Probably should have them Monday, actually. Maybe I'll work on this. You and I will polish this up on Sunday and have it out to everybody on Monday. Why don't we do that? Monday's tomorrow. Why don't we do that? That's what we're going to do today. So we talked about Breeders' Crown. We talked about racing in general. Obviously, I was very happy with Cherry's Girl and everything else that went on this week. Memento Mori, as I said, didn't get in this week. Hopefully we'll be in next week. A lot of people asked me what I thought. I said for a horse that virtually hadn't raced twice, more than twice since July 24th, and then to come out and race the way he did, I thought he raced well. Zena Kemp was awesome. She'll likely race once more, and then her and the other filly will be turned out. Blue Rare was good. Raging Hanover and Sparkling Volo fit the same category. What's that?
Blue Rare was not good. Blue Ventura.
I said Blue Rare? Oh, I apologize. Blue Ventura was very good. Raging Hanover made a break and will qualify. A lot of clients saying, what is wrong with him? I've told everybody, and I'll tell you again what's wrong with him. It's confidence. There's nothing more. He's interfering. He's touching up on the chin. Right where Judy's money hit, and a ton of other horses. Not near enough to bruise it and have it fill up, but enough that it worries him and it scares him. And we are working to correct that shoeing. We will try and get him qualified on Tuesday. And we bought another project horse. You guys may have noticed, Sparkling Volo. He's going to be at the Meadows or Northfield the next day or so. We're going to tinker with him, see if we can get him qualified also and ready to go. Manhattan Money, again, I talked about this. If he doesn't come forward in a much bigger way, if that's what he has to offer this time of year, then he'll probably be moved on over the next week or two. Looks like Money won't be. A lot of people saying, wow, that open's getting tough now. Should we just sell him? Just beware what you're asking. You're saying, should we sell a horse that can trot in 52 and a 5/8 and do what with him? Because if you're not going to replace him, what's the point of doing it? He's not always going to have horses he can't beat. Like that horse that was unbeatable was beaten the other day, and it looks like Money was close the other day, and he'll continue to be close. They don't go in 52 every week there. They do right now, but they won't. Allure has been great. I talked about what we're looking for with respect to Allure. Allure is the quintessential horse we're looking for. Those are the pawns. This is the backbone of what we're trying to do for the whole fall and winter season, is to have horses like Allure that can come in and compete at Northfield or the Meadows or Dayton, Miami Valley, or anywhere we want. And by the way, can go to Mohawk and potentially race there too. Now, I'm not sold on her being able to do the non-winners 4, but she can definitely do the classes below there. Time Is on My Side was tremendous the other. Did you watch his race? Mm-hmm. 48-4. He looks so good. Logan was telling me that Aaron loves driving him. If you don't like driving a horse like him, you just shouldn't drive, because he's a very, very likable horse, and he puts out an honest effort every single time. Now, I will tell you this, 3-Point Blue Chip, your old buddy, sitting on a win. He's back good again. Now, he raced good the other day. You can put him on the front his next start. And if he's in there, too, where we don't have to be here and Aaron can drive him, now you get the green light. Now you can let him rock. I told him, I said, you got to kind of undercook him. You got to underdrive that horse for a while. And he said to Tim the other day, he said, I should have kept him in the outer flow, and I drove him like a pussy. And I said, no, you didn't. No, you drove him exactly how you're supposed to drive him. Next week, now that you know that he's chomping at the bit and he's ready to go, next week you can let him rock. But if you try that stunt with him,
and he doesn't want to do it.
And he doesn't want to do it, you will regret doing it. I guarantee you that. But now that he's telling you, I'm ready to go and I want to get at them, now you can let him rock next week. He's sitting on a win, that horse. Cherry's Girl, as I said, was just tremendous. It's unfair to her because she did so much, but just still couldn't fix the damage done to my psyche the night before. But she was tremendous. And Shenandoah, I said to Amy, we have a lot of clients that are coming into town for the Breeders' Crown. Unfortunately, none of them were that I know of were owners in either Perfect Thought or Jailbird Job, but we're there to watch the races, and we're coming to the Breeders' Crown, and I want to make sure I spend some time with them. But I do want to be in Shenandoah Saturday, and I was kind of hoping we could go down Friday. For those of you who have ever, and I only know it because it popped up on my Facebook feed one day, but I was trying to convince Amy and the kids to go to the Virginia Tech Hokies. The college, we'd never been to a college football game ever, and if you ever watched the intro to the Hokies, it was on Facebook. It's the Enter Sandman. They just go crazy, and they're so loud in that stadium. It actually has shown up on the Richter scale at that stadium. So I know the kids, especially me, I'll be excited to see it, and I'm sure you will too. But the kids would go nuts for that. And it's one of those things where the timing. We talk about timing in racing, but there's timing in life also, and the timing of being able to get down there is not great this week, but will be the only time for the next year we'll be able to. So if I could find a way to meet with Daniel and a couple of people on Thursday and then leave Ontario Friday morning, pick you guys up and go directly to Virginia. The game is actually Friday night.
They don't have school Friday.
I know, but I have to be able to make this work. The Virginia, the game is at 7:30 at night, and it's an hour away from Shenandoah.
Oh.
And Saturday morning, we don't have time. It'd be so cool though. The lady at the track said the caverns, 20 minutes away from Shenandoah, the cavern tours that they do are amazing. I know nothing about Shenandoah or Virginia, but it is definitely a beautiful place, and you could spend some time on a long weekend with the kids there. I think it'd be cool. Do they have Monday off too, or just Friday?
Ava does.
Ava has Monday off, but the other two do not. Okay. So that's what's going on now in regards to Kentucky. Things are winding down in Corbin. Again, another great season for Eric and Kathy in Kentucky. They did a great job. Did what they could to finish off Oak Grove, and it was disappointing. I made the break with Jailbird Jog in the final, who I think she would have won that final from my perspective. But raced great throughout and into there. Turned into be a great filly in Kentucky. Yes, I'm well aware she left some money on the table. I think a lot of people can say that about their horses too, though, right? And that's what makes this game so great, is that the what ifs. It works both ways. You know, could have been a tremendous filly with $500,000 on our card, and but could have been a horse with a lot of breaks on her card that we just say, you know, if we could just get her right, she'd be great. She's much closer to the first than the latter. And Ontario, you know, trying to find some horses for Ontario for the fall. Again, it's easier said than done. Somebody said, well, you know, are you going to have any more horses racing in Ontario? It's like saying, hey, you're going to race some more horses at the Meadowlands. It's the toughest place to race. One of the toughest places on earth to race. You can't just show up with a stable of horses. How many times have we seen people show up in Ontario thinking they're going to race it in Ontario, and they're not long staying in Ontario, I can tell you that. It's a tough place to do business, and hopefully we got some more horses. Obviously, Allure is not going to carry our banner in Ontario, but it helps. It helps. We get another open trotter and an open pacer. Generally in Harrisburg, we find a horse or two.
You don't think Time's on my side can race?
Oh, 100%.
In Mohawk all winter?
Yeah, 100% he can. He could go
There's
there.
an open house.
Yeah, there is. And then he also races in the open in the Meadows, right? Which is, I want the path of least resistance. He's going to race for 18 to 21,000 US in Pennsylvania in a softer field, or race for 35 or 36 Canadian, which is what, 29, 28 US over there. It's similar, a little different situation. But yeah, I believe he can, 100% he can. But if I do that...
Or what's the captain horse? What's he non-winner?
And there's another horse. That's a perfect example. He can make his way to Ontario. He should be able to make his way up there. He's only got $25,000 US made and a mark of 51, but should be able to ascend the classes in Ontario. Yes, I agree 100%. Those types of horses. And then I'd like to have a trotter or two for over there that can make their way through the classes also. I love Allure to death, but she wasn't bought to be a flag bearer. She was bought to be a filly that can serve multiple purposes for us in multiple classes and multiple jurisdictions, and she's made her way to one of the toughest. So that's a feather in her cap also. Ohio will continue. Very happy with Winter Soldier. Now he continues to fit the backup class, and they continue to put him in the open. But I don't know if there's another option at this point. Corbin, I suppose, could be an option for the last 2 weeks for him. But do I really want to transplant him from here to there just to race for 2 weeks or 3 weeks? Not really. And again, could he be a horse for Ontario? He gets around a half so good. I want to believe that he's fine exactly where he is. So some stuff that we're looking, some other shopping bag items that we're looking for, just in general in aged horses. Continue to strengthen our core at Northfield Park. If we have any horses for Southern Ohio this winter, that would help. Always, we'd like to have some horses that can do well in Pennsylvania with Tim at the Meadows if we can, and then have our horses in Ontario and have some power in Ontario for Dominic, Harry, and at least for the time being Jason. So we'll see how all that plays out. But I obviously there's that damper in the air of not making it into the finals. But aside from that, looking at our roster for any babies that you've seen that you really like on the track, I meant to ask you this because you've gone with a few. I know you said, "Oh, I only jog one day," but you've seen it. You've seen a few of them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
like
pull them up.
The Esky filly.
Esky, yeah, you like her. She's a sweetheart. I like her. I like all the horses that are curious and inquisitive to do their work. Now, the ones that can be mean and nasty about it, want to fight you right away, they can turn out to be very good horses too. So it doesn't necessarily mean this is what we're looking for with a baby. There could be a number of ways to answer that. What I'm looking for is the ones that just look the part, right? Look athletic. Why is this thing not loading? You know why it's not? Because it's trying to hijack. It's trying to jump on the house Wi-Fi. Get back on there. Here we go. So, just quickly.
Well, I can tell you exactly who I've only jogged.
I know, but
6.
the ones Barcelona Mickey, everybody likes. You say he's a little noisy in the barn,
No,
but
he's not noisy. He just is
bossy,
rude,
like mean,
randomly rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll put some less random work into him, and then we'll see how randomly rude he is.
He just pushes the envelope to see can I get away with this or not.
Bella Dale, have you seen her on the track yet?
No,
I have. She's really, really nice filly. I haven't seen her in a week or so. A horse that a lot of people have asked me about. I just don't have the proper answers for them yet. But I'm going to go with this horse for the majority of this week. Add some weight to him, push him a little bit, and see how he is. Is Boitano. A lot of people have said how well he's bred, and some people had bought into him. It was so cool. I forgot to talk about. No, talk about him in a second. I forgot to talk. So, Naik Hungerink. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I apologize. I'm not. Really, really nice guy. And showed up yesterday. No, it wasn't Naik. It was Robert Sakima showed up yesterday. I'm trying to look at my Facebook Messenger. Where is it on here? So Robert shows up. Sakima. Naik was before. Robert Sakima shows up. This is the guy that I assume after meeting his daughter. I had his daughter standing in the winter circle on the bike. Oh. She seems like she's just a sweet little girl. And his wife was there. Very nice people. And he's sitting there. It came all the way from Amsterdam. But was flying into Washington. It turned out he was going to be on a road trip with his family when she was in Virginia. So he drove down yesterday. And I met with them before the race, got the picture taken. It was so weird. I was sitting there watching Lauren Post Parade. And I texted him. I said, "Geez, really great, meeting you guys. Are you still here?" And he texts me. He taps me on the shoulder. He goes, it pops up. And he goes, "I was right behind you the whole time." He was sitting right there the whole time as I was watching the race and texting him. Oh. Very, very nice man. Very intriguing thought process on breeding and the horses. He was the one that had actually gave me a very, very long and in-depth talk about why we should breed to back of the neck with Patho Totality, and I believe he was the driving force behind the name of Cloud Rider, the babies. Now that leads me to the last. So thank you, Robert, for coming out. Got to meet Robert. Got to meet Russell Clarkson this weekend. 2 great clients, and as I said, when it comes to naming some of the horses, we have some terrible names for some of the yearlings. We have some horribly named yearlings here. That this will be the year we are going to change some of these names. I'll look through some of them really quick, and I'm sure you'll agree with me. Who do we have here? Those ones we named. Down by the Cowboy. That name's gone.
Dublin's Ferrani, I guess we can leave that. I don't care. Ski Frolic. Highland Fire and Ice, possibly. Maybe not. I don't know. What else do we have? There was like 4 of them I saw the other day. Perfect Instead, Pilot Caviar, Popular Expert, Prada Renata, Rose Run Chief, Saint Sarah, She's Got Class. So good, so good, so good. I don't know if it's going to make it. It might grow on me. Have you seen her on the track yet?
No.
She's a beautiful filly. Spring Ice, Stuntman, Sunday Royal. I'm not a big fan of that name. All right, never mind. Sunday Royale.
What's that?
That's the King of the North colt that James and I bought in Ontario. Actually, I think he sold out. 17 shares left of that colt. That's the one that James loved. James and I both loved him, and I'm always hesitant to say, "Oh, this was the best one in the entire sale." My perspective of all the King of the North that I looked at personally with James, this was the one that we felt was the best looking one. So Sunday Royale, we'll see if his name lasts sweet and steady. I don't know, maybe. Depends. We get on a tear here. We can just name it Willy Wide.
Yeah.
It's a good name. I like that name. It's growing on me already. But a lot of our weanlings also, we don't have any of the weanlings named, right? So we have 8, I believe. Maybe more.
I thought we should have.
Well, I'm looking at Eyes of 10, Globetrotting, Aglariam, Muscle Chrome, Path of Totality, and Stay Special weanlings on here. There are other weanlings on here. Well, we have 5.
They're only on there if they're weaned.
Yeah.
So some of them aren't weaned yet.
Yeah. Well, there's 3 Captain Corys on here, and we have 5.
Yeah. So they're not. They'll be
So
weaned.
My Jazz My Jazz one isn't weaned yet. Then it must not be.
They're getting weaned right now.
Who's the 5th one? So I see Path of Totality, Globetrotting, Eyes of 10. Aglariams is an international money. I thought it was a Captain Corey.
Back to back with her.
Well, who's the 5th Captain Corey then?
What mares do you have over there?
I have Eyes of 10, Globetrotting.
So My Jazz.
My Jazz would be 1. Path of Totality is the 4th.
And
let's see about the dams. That's not going to help. Let's look at the yearlings, the homebreds. Who, that doesn't matter. We'll figure it out.
oh, it's the
Spit it out.
the one that we bought in full that year to Volstead.
State Park S? Is it Captain Corey? I don't think so. Anyway, there's a 5th one. It'll come to me. We'll be naming all the babies, all the weanlings. None of our weanlings are named right now, so there will be an opportunity to do that. We've had a number of clients send emails in already. It'll be a little more structured. We'll work it out with Kelly in the coming weeks. It has to be done before December. So in the month of November, we will be naming all of the weanlings and changing the name of at least a couple of our yearlings, and we'll make that open for everybody to give to bring in your names or send in your names to us, and then we'll decide which way we're going to go. So with that, I'm going to let you go. As I said, not the week we thought we'd have, but again,
I just want to point out that you asked me what babies I liked. Then you started talking about Boitano. Then you started talking about the guy that you met. So I think what was your point with Boitano?
I liked him. I asked if you saw him on the track yet, and I was explaining that I did, that I liked the horse, but I wanted to go with him a little bit more this week. But I did cut you off. What other babies have you seen?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying,
This is your
was
opportunity?
there a sidebar with Boitano and the reason that you...
No, not really. I just saw that he was there, and I saw his name, and I said, "There's a horse that we brought in a couple of days before anybody else." And I haven't really gone with him a whole lot other than see him on the track. I want to sit behind him because a lot of our European clients really liked him. And I jumped from a lot of our European clients liking him to, oh, by the way, Robert Skima was at Shenandoah yesterday. So there, does that help? Does that connect the dots a little more?
Bit, yeah.
Okay. Was there any more babies that you liked? I did cut you off there. I apologize.
No,
Well, who's your top 3 favorite ones so far?
I only went with 6.
Okay, so tell me about the 6. Who have the 6? Who are the best ones?
Well, Esky was for
You
sure.
liked Esky a lot, which she's a beautiful filly. I jogged her the day after you did. Beautiful
So
filly.
what the hell?
Which one?
No, sorry, it's a Volstead.
Which one?
No, not...
The mystery one? What? It's a Volstead? Well, that's easier to figure out. You just go down to Volstead. Volstead, we have 3 of them. Perfect Instead, Rose Run Chief, and Sweet and Steady.
I went with the Perfect Instead.
Yeah, I like her too. And the mystery horse I like. That must be a What the Hill, is it?
Oh, I did go with her.
Yeah.
She's been a little sick, right?
Yeah. What's the mystery?
Yeah, I went
she
with
trots
her.
really, really nice. I like
And
her
then
a
I
lot.
went with my little...
Now, the one I like, the one I find the most intriguing, only because maybe I haven't gone with him yet, was Stuntman. And Jason, the reason I said that is Jason Merriman told me how much he liked him on day 1 and day 2. I haven't even seen him on the track until the other day. I was jogging a horse, and I see him go by me. 1, 2, 3, 4, never miss a beat. And I'm coming off the track. He goes by again. 1, 2, 3, 4, never miss a beat. I said, "Hey, who is that?" They said, "Stuntman." Yeah, he's a good looking. He's a giant.
He's very dark, right? He's
Yes, gigantic dark
Yeah, I
horse,
know
and he's
that.
beautiful. Anyway, he's a tactical landing. I haven't sat behind him yet, but I'm eager. Him and Boitano, I want to sit behind this week. Mostly because there's a lot of shares of Boitano, and I have a lot of people telling me they like the breeding, but they haven't seen the videos of him yet, or any videos of him yet. So I want to get him polished up and ready to go. We'll probably make another video, have a video day of all our
I
horses.
took one with him, but I think I deleted it all.
Oh, it's okay. Before we go to Harrisburg, we'll make a video for everybody, just so they can get a look at how their horses look and a better idea of what they're looking at and maybe what they're looking for moving forward. So my only job left for today is to figure out the buckets for Harrisburg and get them out to everybody as we get closer to Harrisburg itself. Right? Fair? Okay. We'll talk to everybody soon. I hope it's not raining wherever you are. It's warmer here, but it's raining. Not a great day. Time to watch some football and some baseball later. I'm not going to say it because I jinxed them. They won 2 games in a row. I never said a word about them. I talked about them the other day and they lost. I'm not talking about them, but I'm going to watch baseball tonight. Take care, everybody.